What's up, Cyborg? Let's talk about it, man. It happened real fast. Claressa Shields coming off a nice high, just moving up to the heavyweight division and having some success there, really closing in and taking that title away from Lepage Jonis. Claressa is she's doing big things, she's really elevating herself and really giving women's boxing a good deal of momentum, and people are starting to pay attention, So it's a very good thing, good for the boxing industry, good for women's boxing as a whole, great for Claressa Shields. But she slipped up. She got caught lacking this time, man. She got caught lacking big time. Claressa Shields, she got invited on to Fox News to discuss the controversy of the Algerian female boxer and the controversy surrounding this person's participation in the women's Olympic boxing. A lot of people are outraged, based on information that they have received or that they're reading, or different news channels that are reporting on this, and really just giving what seems more like an opinion rather than facts about this particular athlete. They're saying that she is in fact a transgender. Some people are saying, no, it's not a transgender person, it's a hermaphrodite. And then some people are saying, well, it's neither or, it's actually a biological female that just happens to have a heightened level of testosterone. And so therein lies the question, like, where is all this testosterone coming from? Is it something that is natural? Is it something that is based on the effects of transgender treatment, or whatever the stimulus is, right? Well, as it turns out, according to the many sources, including the officials at the Olympics, who have to really qualify and certify people for their eligibility, it turns out this person simply just has an elevated level of testosterone. Okay, this person has always been a female, and this particular effect on females having this heightened level of testosterone is something that occurs in nature. It's not an abnormal thing. What's different about it is that it's a rare thing. So it's not that it doesn't happen. It's not that it's not natural. It's just that it's actually something that rarely occurs. And so there are other reports of like people going through the same thing, and that are being put in positions where they have to make the decision, well, if they're going to compete, they either have to take these hormone or testosterone blockers in order to lower their actual testosterone level, in order to essentially make it fairer for the other women that they're going to compete against, which is, in theory that sounds fine, but you're also then telling a person, hey, if you're naturally like this, we want you to alter your nature in order to lower your competitive edge that you were born with. All right, that's kind of crazy in its own way. The next thing is, it's the very same argument they have against people that are taking testosterone, or people who are of a different gender that is more naturally equipped with higher levels of testosterone, such as a man, versus the typical framework of a woman, right? So it's kind of like a little contradictory in itself, that you would ask somebody who's natural to go the unnatural way in order to lower their competitive edge, yet your argument to the people who are taking a drug or a treatment in order to elevate their performance, you don't want that either. So I get not wanting to allow a person to gain an artificial edge on another person, but I don't really condone somebody having to lower their natural functions in order to compete. It's like it just doesn't make all the sense in the world to me. I know why they do it. I just don't agree that it's being done, or that it's even encouraged in some of these athletic competition circles, But anyway, Claressa Shields, she really she really went on Fox News and she talked about this person like she was talking about somebody she had facts on, which, you know, when I first heard the story, I thought it was crazy that they had a transgender person, a biological man who identifies as a woman competing with biological women. I thought that was a little crazy because, you know, as a man, you know that the reason why when a woman is testing you, you don't lose your fucking mind and give her the full brunt of your force, because, you know, it's certain levels of damage that you're just going to apply to her that you don't really need to do in order to convince her that it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like, so men have always, like, traditionally just backed down from the idea of either fighting a woman or hitting her with as much force as we might do to a man that we think is you know, a problem or a threat to us, you know. And even between men, like when you're fighting a dude that's you know, he's like a lower weight class, you know, somebody that, you know, just can't handle it, you know what I mean? You don't, unless you're trying to torture this motherfucker, you just don't let loose for real on him. You rough him up, let him know what time it is, and another man can feel your energy and know that, yeah, I don't really want this problem, so let me just take this minor ass whooping and be good with that shit before I have this motherfucker kill me for real. And, you know, so I get it. I get why people thinking that essentially this is a man fighting women, and people having a problem with that, because everybody got a sister, a cousin, a daughter, an aunt, somebody, female in their life that they care about, and you want to see them do well. And you don't want the motherfuckers out there competing with a motherfucker that was born with an edge. This motherfucker didn't have to do a couple more push-ups to be stronger. This motherfucker just grow that way. You know what I mean? So I get it. But Claressa Shields went on Fox News. She used her name and her platform to really essentially obliterate this person's character based on false or very limited information that turned out to be not as on point as they sort of like insinuated during that interview. So I don't know if Fox News knew going in that you know, the shit they were talking about wasn't quite right, and if they just you know, laid her out for the slaughter to let her take that L, put her name to it, and you know, tarnish her reputation. But on the back end, Claressa Shields has come out and apologized for making that error and qualifying this as a fact, and then refuting it and protesting against it. So she has done the right thing and come out and apologize. But it's just a cautionary tale, you know what I mean? If you're gonna run your mouth about something, you know, we all get shit wrong a lot of times, you know what I mean? People just in general, like, we don't always do as much research, we don't do as much thinking, we're not as open-minded about some of the positions that we take, and so we fuck up. We run around, we run our mouth, and then, you know, at some point you find yourself not agreeing with what you actually said about the situation. So what's good is that, you know, that we do have a means to, you know, sort of reflect on our missteps and try to do better, you know what I mean? Be more cautious the next round, and certainly apologize for the hurt and the pain and you know, the misdirection that we cause and spewing our opinions or our, you know, what we believe to be facts at the time. You know, it's good to just go back and say, hey, look, I did wrong. Let me do as much as I can do to repair this damage and really tell the story as I have now discovered that it actually is, which is, you know, this person just has an elevated level of testosterone. They ain't no damn man up in there boxing no women. And that story, essentially, for the people who you know, who feel outraged by it, you know, in the actual cases where shit like that is going on, yeah, keep that energy going, because, you know, like, ain't no women getting ready to beat no men, not in a competitive way. So we need to probably, like, continue to have conversations about that and make this shit make sense in a realistic way, you know what I mean? if women, as for all they do in sports and every other aspect of the world, there are certain things that defines a man and separates him from a woman, especially on a physical level. Okay, the physical playing field is generally lopsided between men and women. Okay, it has nothing to do with brain power and any of that other fancy non-muscular shit. But when it comes to muscles and when it comes to force and when it comes to power, the men, we pretty much got that shit in the back. You know what I mean? I'm not saying there's no woman out there that's stronger than a certain man, but in general, you're not stronger than most men. And a weak man, you know, as defined by from man to man, he's generally stronger than the weak man is generally stronger than the strong woman. You know, so something to be taken seriously. Good for Claressa Shields for, you know, doubling back and saying, you know what, I fucked up. I'm gonna take this L and I'm gonna apologize. But just a cautionary tale, man. If you're gonna run your mouth about something, do a little bit of research, be open-minded, and try to get the facts straight before you go on Fox motherfucking News. Peace.